For decades, global fast food giants spent billions of dollars trying to conquer the British high street, yet they kept getting completely crushed by tiny, independent family shops operating on paper notebooks. Think about that. McDonald's, KFC, and Subway have endless corporate capital, massive global supply networks, and world-class marketing teams. Yet in the United Kingdom, a humble neighborhood fish and chip shop with one counter can generate higher profits per square foot than a multinational franchise. How is that even possible? What secret mechanism allows a single location, family-run takeaway to hold off multi-billion-dollar corporations for over half a century? And why is this invisible fortress suddenly beginning to crack open right before our eyes? To understand this incredible economic puzzle, we have to look past the crispy batter and the steaming paper parcels. Most people look at a local Chippy and see a simple, old-fashioned food joint. They assume it survives purely on tradition and local nostalgia. But that is a massive misconception. What is actually happening behind that counter is a masterclass in hyper-efficient microeconomics. An invisible business model designed to maximize cash flow while keeping overhead costs dangerously close to zero. Take a look at the traditional unit economics of a classic British Chippy. A typical fast food chain has to pay massive royalties, standardized supply fees, heavy corporate overhead, and complex management salaries. A local fish shop owner doesn't pay any of that. In fact, the average high-performing Chippy operates with an insanely lean menu. Just 3 core ingredients: white fish, potatoes, and flour batter. By limiting the menu to these exact items, the owner completely eliminates raw inventory waste. An operational trap that destroys the margins of standard restaurants every single day. Consider a real micro case study from a small industrial town in northern England. An independent shop owner named Arthur ran a single store on a high street corner for over 30 years. While nearby global burger chains struggled with shifting inventories, complex shift scheduling, and rising corporate fees, Arthur was generating over £600,000 in annual revenue with just 3 full-time employees. How? By engineering his entire production line around one single asset: thermal speed. You see, standard fast food kitchens require expensive, specialized stations for grilled meats, toasted buns, cold assembly, and beverage dispensers. But a high-efficiency frying range acts as a single, multi-use thermal engine. The entire core product catalog, the fish, the chips, the sausages, and the side bites, is processed through oil at high speed. This creates a throughput capacity that allows a tiny 3-person team to serve hundreds of paying customers during a tightly compressed 2-hour peak window. And that brings us to the hidden cash machine secret: the margin balance. If you look purely at a piece of fresh cod or haddock, the profit margin looks terrifyingly thin. Raw white fish is an expensive commodity traded on international markets. If a shop relied purely on selling fish, it would go bankrupt within months. But here is where the true strategic genius comes into play: the fish is actually a loss leader. A psychological hook designed to draw the customer through the front door. The real money isn't made on the fish. The real profit comes from the potato on the side. Potatoes are bought in bulk, 90-pound sacks directly from regional growers for pennies. Once washed, peeled, chipped, and fried, that cheap agricultural asset is sold at a massive markup. Combined with virtually zero-cost batter, high-margin sauces, and soft drinks, the overall basket margin skyrockets. The customer feels like they are buying a premium, satisfying meal, while the owner is quietly netting high-margin cash on every order. For over 50 years, this unique economic formula made the local Chippy virtually invincible against corporate invasion. When multinational fast food companies tried to acquire these prime street corners, they simply couldn't outbid independent owners who held direct operational control and zero corporate overhead. The corporate chains had found a structural wall they could not buy out. But then, an unexpected technological shift hit the market, and everything changed almost overnight. Enter the age of modern delivery algorithms. Companies like Deliveroo, Uber Eats, and Just Eat introduced a digital layer between the merchant and the consumer. Suddenly, local foot traffic was no longer the primary driver of fast food sales. Customers stopped walking down the street to pick up their Friday night dinner. and started ordering through smartphone screens, and this is where the fortress began to crumble. Digital delivery platforms demand fees as high as 30% on every transaction. For a corporate chain operating with standardized app integrations and national marketing funds, that cost is manageable. But for an independent Chippy operating on tight physical street footfall margins, a 30% platform fee completely wipes out the net profit on every single meal sold. Suddenly, the very thing that made these independent shops so powerful, their localized, offline simplicity, became their greatest vulnerability. Owners were forced into a devastating paradox. Either join the delivery apps and watch their hard-earned profits vanish into platform commissions, or stay offline and lose an entire generation of younger, mobile-first customers to corporate chains. To make matters worse, a massive geopolitical storm began brewing across global supply chains. A sudden shift in ocean fishing quotas, combined with soaring costs for natural gas used to power those high-energy frying ranges, sent raw operational expenses exploding through the ceiling. Cooking oil alone saw massive price spikes, turning a basic operational item into a volatile, high-cost commodity. Many traditional shop owners, unable to adapt their paper notebook operations to modern digital hedging, were forced to lock their doors permanently. Thousands of family businesses, assets built over generations, vanished from British high streets in a matter of years. So, is this the end of the hidden empire? Not quite, because a new breed of business operator is stepping into the void. These new operators aren't old-school friars, they are hyper-analytical business strategists who look at the fish and chip model through the lens of modern corporate efficiency. They are taking the core advantages of the traditional Chippy, its incredible thermal throughput, low menu complexity, and massive brand loyalty, and combining them with cutting-edge business strategies. First, they are completely re-engineering the supply chain. Instead of buying potatoes and fish through middleman distributors, multi-unit operators are pooling their purchasing power to secure direct contracts with agricultural growers and deep-sea trawlers. By cutting out 3 levels of middle distribution, they reclaim nearly 12% in lost margins before the food even reaches the kitchen. Second, they are revolutionizing menu engineering and portion control. By using precise automated oil filtration systems, they extend the life cycle of expensive cooking fat by up to 40% without sacrificing food quality. They use digital thermal monitors to optimize frying temperatures down to the exact degree, preventing oil absorption and saving thousands of pounds in wastage every single year. And third, they are mastering the delivery game by creating dedicated ghost kitchen networks. Instead of paying high rent for prime high-street real estate, these modern operators open lean, optimized kitchens in industrial parks, designed specifically to process high-volume app orders with maximum efficiency and minimal overhead. What started as a simple 19th-century street food has evolved into a high-stakes arena of modern business strategy, where traditional operators and corporate innovators are fighting for dominance. This incredible industry teaches us one of the most powerful lessons in all of business. True competitive advantage isn't always built on massive corporate budgets, flashy technology, or complex products. Sometimes the most profitable empires in the world are hidden right in plain sight. Hidden behind simple, unpretentious businesses that master the fundamental rules of cash flow, supply efficiency, and consumer psychology. Because at the end of the day, the businesses that survive aren't necessarily the biggest or the richest. They are the ones that can adapt their hidden mechanics to a changing world, while never losing sight of what made them valuable in the first place.